Scott Tansill, and I am thrilled to death to be back on News Talk 1110 WBT. Back on the airways. It's been a little over a year since I've been on the airways of News Talk 1110 WBT, and I've got a new message for you. The name of the show is Your Legacy Radio, and this has been a passion-driven focus of mine for a long, long time to create a show and a thought process and a business surrounding this thought process that would help individuals who are, and I don't want to go into a negative thought process with this term because I'm going to tell my story, and hopefully it will kind of lead us into a thought process that the term I'm going to use doesn't necessarily mean that it's a final term. There's a lot of different meanings for this term in my mindset. And it's revolving around someone who is affected by a terminal illness. The sole sponsor for Your Legacy Radio is River Wealth Solutions. What is River Wealth Solutions? It's an organization that I have created after years of taking a path of life to lead me to the age of 40 years old. But I'll go all the way back to the age of 5 for myself. At the age of 5 years old, I was affected by a terminal illness, and it was a cancerous brain tumor. Within that affection, I shouldn't use the word affection, but within that effect of a terminal illness that I was given 6 months to live. Now, obviously, I've overcome that 6 months, turned 6 months into 40 years, and that's we're here on a Sunday, that's by the grace of God. I truly believe that has happened in that way. But what it has led me to do throughout the path that I've taken within this life is to think about how every step matters and how every step leads to the next step, leads to the next step, leads to the next step, leads to where it is that we are all supposed to be within this life, within this journey, within this really a brief time that we have here on this earth. So what I have strived to do over my lifetime is to think about how can I affect others through my experiences with them, through times with them, and through just walking for a brief time within their lifetimes, their journeys, their paths. How can I enrich that through whatever means I have available to me, whatever talents I've been given and whatever I've been blessed with on this earth to have within my life? How can I transition that to help others? Well, the thing that I've done over about 17 or 18 years of being in business for myself is to think about what kind of organization could I create? How could I put that organization together? And then how would that affect individuals who are a part of that organization? So the organization that I've created is River Wealth Solutions. Within River Wealth Solutions, we help individuals, and I'll just tell you the mission statement of River Wealth. It is providing a more fulfilled life for those affected by a terminal illness. Now, the way that we do that is to help them identify areas of assets that they currently have that they can utilize to create funds that they need to make their life better as to where it is the season they're going through at this current time. We're going to talk a lot throughout the show and throughout the history of this show, the time frame that we have, because I believe that this show will go on for a long, long time. I believe this mission statement and this thought process of River Wealth Solutions and of Your Legacy Radio will carry on for a long, long time, helping individuals, not just the individuals that are here, but helping their families to create a legacy that they want to leave behind and that will affect generation after generation after generation. So that's my thought process with this overall understanding of what we want to do within Your Legacy Radio, but also within River Wealth Solutions. And we're going to, with a passion-driven focus, help individuals create that legacy that they want to leave behind. I was reading an article this past week, and it was talking about how individuals, as they get to that point of age, when it's time to retire, they don't have the finances that they need oftentimes to be able to retire in the way that they would like to retire. They don't have the finances they need for medical care, long-term medical care, as far as nursing home care and just the health problems that individuals have as they get up in age. It takes a lot of money to be able to accomplish that in a way that most individuals want to accomplish it, and just to get the health care that they need to live the lives that they want to live. The other thing that happens with that financial situation is any money that they have, this article was explaining, any money that they have goes towards medical bills, even though it's not enough for the medical care that they want and need. It goes towards those medical bills. So when it comes time to leave this earth, they don't have finances available to their families that they had strived to leave behind to create the legacy that they wanted to leave. So there's a lot of different things that we can look at as far as creating the finances that individuals need and truly the assets they currently have that they can create those finances. Like, there's one thing that I've been looking at a lot over the past probably 10, 15 years, and that's the fact that most individuals have life insurance, but they think life insurance is simply there to create finances for their family once they're gone. So their life suffers because of lack of funding and lack of finances. And oftentimes they get to a point where they just say, you know what, I can't afford this policy anymore, so I'm just going to let the policy go. What the insurance companies don't tell them is that policy can be utilized as an asset. You can actually sell that policy, create funds for yourself, for your family, do the things you want to do while you're here on this earth, and leave the legacy that you truly want to leave behind before you leave this earth. That legacy is in place and it lives on after you. So we'll talk a lot about that throughout this show. That's one of the living resource benefits that River Wealth Solutions works with individuals constantly to help them create and understand that they even have, because most individuals don't even think of a life insurance policy as something that's an asset to them that they can utilize in a way of creating the funds that they want to utilize on this earth today. I always ask individuals, would your family rather you live it with them or leave it for them? If you sat down with your family, had a true conversation as far as, okay, I've got finances that I'm going to leave for you. When I'm gone, you can enjoy that. Or would you rather me live it with you, right? And I know my family would say, Scott, we want you to live it with us. Because the memories that you leave behind with us in utilizing those finances today and while you're still here, that's what's going to live on. Not so much, hey, we've got $100,000 after Scott's gone, or $200,000 or $300,000. No, let's take those finances, utilize it today to create the memories. Maybe it's taking a trip. Maybe it's getting the proper health care that I need or the individual would need to sustain their life to a longer time period. There's a lot of different things that can be done. Maybe it's just living their life in a way of accomplishing things through retirement that they wouldn't be able to accomplish otherwise. Maybe, and we see this a lot, it's taking that capital and utilizing that capital for a certain medical treatment that they wouldn't be able to get otherwise to give their life longevity that it wouldn't have otherwise. There's a lot of areas that we can look at in accomplishing these things, and it's creating that living resource benefit that helps individuals to create that. So if you want more information on a living resource benefit, I'm going to give you a number right now. Write this number down. There's a packet of information that River Wealth Solutions will send out to you. This packet of information will cover all the different living resource benefits that are available to individuals, and it will help you understand these living resource benefits in a better way so that you can access them, create the capital, the funds that you need to live the life that you want to live. So the number is 866-500-2922. That's 866-500-2922. So we had a situation happen this past week that I kind of want to address here in the first segment. And then I've got someone who is actually on as a living resource specialist with River Wealth Solutions. Her name is Katie Boland. I'm going to bring her on in the second segment and the third segment. I want her to explain, as far as her position as a living resource specialist with River Wealth Solutions, what it is she does to enrich individuals' lives, how she puts those plans in place, and then what she sees them doing with the assets that she helps them take and then create the funding that they need to live the life that they want to live. But we had a dear, dear friend of ours by the name of Ed Moon, who actually passed away this past week. And, talking about your legacy radio, leaving a legacy, leaving a thought process, this individual was someone that every time you saw him, he had this glow. And he had this infectious smile that he would just put on his face every time you saw him, no matter what the situation was, no matter what he was going through, no matter what kind of things he was experiencing in his life. You never knew if it was negative, if it was positive, because it always looked positive. It always looked like everything was fine, everything was great. He enjoyed life, and he portrayed that through his smile, through his generosity, through his living of life, through his leaving of a legacy that we'll experience for a long, long time to come. And I just wanted to kind of talk about Ed for a second. And many of you who are listening to my voice right now, you know Ed, you know the things that he did, and you know the way that he lived his life, he portrayed his life, and the things that he left behind, not just for his family, but for anyone that came into contact with him. And when I think about what do I want to create with Your Legacy Radio, what do I want to create with River Wealth Solutions, what kind of impact do I want to have? I want to leave behind what Ed Moon left behind, to where individuals say, you know what, every time I saw Scott or every time I came into contact with River Wealth Solutions, everything that I had going on was forgotten at that point in time. Everything that I had going on was kind of just pushed to the side. and everything that I had going on didn't really have much meaning because I felt so much joy, so much happiness, and it was like everything was okay just because I came into contact with that individual, just because I came into contact with that organization. Because we're dealing with individuals that have a lot of things going on within their terminal illness status, affected by a terminal illness. And there's so many stresses that are involved with that thought process. This organization, Riverwell Solutions, will help them to take a lot of that stress away. Yes, because of the funds, because of the finances, but really because of the journey that we end up taking with them. Because we'll walk with them every step of the way throughout, yes, their affected terminal illness at that point, but also into the next season, into the next season, and into the next season. So it's something that I see as growing into an organization that will be there for many, many generations to come within that family unit during the current season and future seasons to come, with a smile on our face, welcoming you, making everything else seem like it's nothing, taking that stress off of you over the time that we have with you and the journey that we walk with you. So if you want more information about Riverwell Solutions or Your Legacy Radio, call us right now. It's 866-500-2922. One more time, it's 866-500-2922. We'll be right back with more of Your Legacy Radio right after this.